friends. I legitimately really like this matchup. I know that some might think it's dumb because on the surface they don't seem like they have much in common, like Grey vs. There's Death, Ice powers. But think about it. Both of these two are highly revered masters in their world, known for their incredible technique and ability. They both were taken in and given pretty high ranks at relatively young ages. Obi-Wan became a Jedi Knight at 25 and a Jedi Master around 35, while Kakashi was a Chunin by 6, a Jonin by 12, and eventually became Hokage. Those ages for Obi-Wan are because he was born at 55 BBY, and I think he became a Knight at 32 BBY, which I think 57 BBY he was born. I'll put the numbers on screen and I'll fuck. Both of them were trained by renowned and incredibly powerful masters Qui-Gon Jinn and Minato Namikaze, who died tragically yet came back to talk from the afterlife in some ways. Minato was obviously resurrected, while Qui-Gon Jinn is attributed in legends to have been the Jedi to rediscover the secret of becoming a Force ghost. In fact, Qui-Gon Jinn even taught Yoda and Obi-Wan how to do it. Both Kakashi and Obi-Wan became the masters of essentially Ninja Jesus and Space Jesus respectively. Both were the masters of the main protagonist. Both of them had one of their students turn to the dark side and go bad, but that student redeemed themselves and became good again through the influence of one of their other students. There are probably even more connections here, but as you can see, this is one of the better battles of the season, as there is a very good deal in common between them thematically, and yes, this is better than Obi-Wan vs. Jiraiya, because Jiraiya has far less thematically in common with Obi-Wan. This might be the first really good, well thought out battle since, well, Miles vs. Static, where they do have a lot of common. So how powerful is Obi-Wan? Well, if you don't let him have the high ground, not as powerful as he could be, but let's talk about this. In Legends, Obi-Wan should be able to scale to Yaril Poof, who, I hope in saying that last name I don't sound like a homophobe. Yaril Poof, I don't know. Either way, it sounds like a homophobic slur. Who was able to contain a planet-bursting explosion even while half dead. Obi-Wan has the ability to force heal and make himself invisible. He survived a shot from a starfighter and took a hit from Dirge. A lot. And that guy can smash this bridge and lift this ATTE that's heavy. He could hold back this creature's jaws and throw this alien. And he's so fast that he blitzed droids, moves faster than droid scanners, outran this explosion, moved fast enough to vanish from someone's vision, and is so fast a camera couldn't see him. The camera picked up his lightsaber, but not he himself. He can throw his lightsaber fast enough to catch a missile, and retrieve his lightsaber faster than Dirge could go at him. And remember Dirge? Well, he's so fast that regular Jedi look like they're moving in slow motion to him. He's precise enough to crush the fuse of a microchip in his wrist, and if we're talking about him out of character, he could crush someone's heart. And because Death Battle generally ignores a character's morality and non-willingness to kill, he might. Oh, and he fought someone underwater. But let's talk about how strong he is with just canon stuff. While they have confirmed the use of the expanded universe, at least according to people in Discords I'm in, they've not said if they're just including consistent with the canon feats, or if they're using the more extreme Star Wars stuff that would give him faster than light and minimum planet level capabilities. I want to keep in mind, it might seem silly, but the reason that they have that level of power is the Force. They can use the Force to augment their physical bodies. So, he took down General Grievous, Anakin Skywalker, and Darth Maul. The last one was while he was a Padawan. The middle one was in the same film where Anakin solo beat Count Dooku. He was able to hold his own against Maul and Oppress at the same time, fended off Ventress, and disarmed Pre Vizsla, who was able to take on Maul to an extent. He matches Anakin's force power on Mustafar, can deflect lasers and deflect Sith lightning. Most impressively to me is that his raw strength is enough to pry open General Grievous's chest. I guess, and that pretty much confirms he can use the Force to augment his strength, because Grievous is really fucking tough. He took hits from a Wookiee, being thrown through a statue hard enough to break it, and he gets hit a lot. He apparently took a calculated 1 megaton force push from Dooku, and can swing his lightsaber at Mach 13,000 speeds, and can deflect lasers which have been calced at Mach 3,000. Those first two are calcs based on the speed of ships in the background, while on the invisible hand, you can see ships moving in the background, so it is completely reasonable that the Jedi were using Force speed to make themselves faster, and Dooku, and we just weren't seeing that. We were seeing what they saw, and that's why the ships in the background were moving as fast as they were, from their perception. Most importantly though, he was able to hold his own against Vader fairly evenly, and I'm fairly certain there are supplementary material that confirm that they were fairly even. And Darth Vader created a force barrier that can stop photon torpedoes completely. These photon torpedoes could damage a Providence-class warship with an equivalent of 1 gigaton. So Obi-Wan should at least be within a vaguely similar range, around the island level. Maybe not exactly, in a similar range of island, maybe a little lower, possibly even a little higher, I don't know. He's in that vague range. Darth Vader was super casual while doing this. And Darth Vader probably wasn't super casual against Obi-Wan. And he was probably increasing his strength and speed with the Force. Obi-Wan also has these abilities in canon. Mind Tricks, which won't help. Force Precognition, good enough to block a blaster bolt without looking. Speed, and Force Sense, good enough to feel the destruction of Alderaan very far away. So, essentially, Obi-Wan in Legends is planetary minimum, or he should be, unless you want to tell me this dweeb is stronger than Anakin, which he's not, and he's around island level in canon. Now, how powerful is Kakashi? I have absolutely no fucking idea. It seems to be really hard to find a consensus on how strong he is. Some people say he's, like, really fucking strong. Some people say, oh, maybe dial it back a bit. It's fairly inconsistent wherever I look. However, it seems that one of the better measures of his power is scaling to Obito, who at the time was equivalent to Kyubey Chakra Mode Naruto, and probably higher than Jiraiya, who is directly stated mountain level. Like, Kakashi should be higher than Jiraiya at least, right? Mountain level? Sure, let's go with that. I hopped over to the Respect Thread to see what Kakashi's done, and he easily beat Zabuza. He took a hit from a tailed beast, that's very impressive, and he even held his own against Obito, yeah. He apparently beat Rock Lee in Taijutsu, and why are we talking about this? They're gonna give him the perfect Susanoo, right? I mean, I don't know if he can use it or not. I'm not well versed in what happens after the Kaguya fight, because once Kaguya showed up, I rather checked out on the manga. I didn't read the manga all the way, by the way. I just sort of skimmed it. But when Kaguya showed up, because I was getting into the Madara stuff, but then Kaguya shows up and poof, I'm gone. The perfect Susanoo should wreck canon Obi-Wan. Like, it scales to Madara, doesn't it? At least. It should be multi-continental, you'd think, at minimum. But I don't know if it'd be able to best Legends Obi-Wan. I know planet-level Naruto is a common point of contention, and I do want to clear up that I was being a dickhead with Sasuke versus Hiei. It's way more of an argument than I made it seem. I made it seem like it was definitely planet-level Naruto, but I don't know what I think anymore, and also I don't give a shit, so don't bother commenting about Sasuke and Naruto unless it's in relation to Kakashi. So Kakashi should not be planet-level, so he should have no real hope against Obi-Wan. And let's keep in mind, both of these guys have ways to bypass durability. Kakashi with his lightning stabbing hand thingy that I know the name of but forgot the spelling of and I'm too lazy to check. And Obi-Wan with the Force and being able to crush Kakashi's organs. Kakashi's is easier to avoid. Obi-Wan is so fast that a camera could pick up his lightsaber, but not Obi-Wan. And apparently he was even able to block 18 blows a second against Grievous. Grievous, who can easily outpace regular Jedi. And he dodged blaster fire. Kakashi would have a lot of trouble landing a blow on Obi-Wan, although it's not impossible. He could use shadow clones and general ninja trickery to get Obi-Wan into position. But Obi-Wan can sense people with the Force, and I doubt each shadow clone would have the same midichlorian count as Kakashi or whatever. Obi-Wan probably can detect Kakashi and which one is the real one, but maybe Kakashi has a way around that. Maybe Obi-Wan's Force sensors don't work that way. Who knows? I don't know. Though Kakashi doesn't really have a way to avoid it if Obi-Wan chooses to crush his organs. Now, canon Obi-Wan or Legends Obi-Wan wouldn't do that, but Death Battle had Harry Potter going for the Avada Kedavra immediately, and Grey used Lost Ice Shell before considering getting help from the outside. Like, if anything, Grey'd be like, I need to get help. Oh, I don't have the ability to do that. She's too fast. And then fucking do anything. Although, they also pretty much state that Grey's speed is equivalent to characters in the Battle of Fairy Tail arc, which is wrong. They had freaking All Might willingly punch a hole through a man, and they even had Might Guy using his 8 gates in a friendly contest. Obi-Wan crushing organs is not out of the realm of what Death Battle might do, or out of his ability. Let's also keep in mind that Obi-Wan has a general range advantage. While I wouldn't give much hope to Obi-Wan matching Kakashi in a full-on fist fight, at least if you ignore the gap in power and how Obi-Wan can ramp his body up with the Force and make it stronger, Obi-Wan's got a lightsaber. Kakashi could probably take a blow from a lightsaber. I mean, he uses lightning as a power, and lightning is plasma, and lightsabers are plasma. He could probably take hits from lightsabers. But what matters is that Obi-Wan, the lightsaber's got more range than Kakashi's fucking kunai. And in terms of, like, ranged options, Kakashi's options are limited based on what he has at his disposal. He's got a limited amount of kunai and a limited amount of things. Obi-Wan has no limit on the Force, and really pretty much no range limit either. And let's be real, the results of this are 100% dependent on what Death Battle choose to include. If they include everything for Obi-Wan, all of his feats and scaling, he should win. And if you want to highball Kakashi and say that Kakashi is equal to planet level Naruto, which I think is a big stretch, maybe he is, but I don't think he is, then why would you not do the same for Obi-Wan? You could say Obi-Wan scales to Luke. You could overpower a guy that can manipulate stars and harm the obscenely powerful Abeloth, who can, quote, literally reshape the galaxy in any manner she wished, and considers nanoseconds slow. If you want to scale Kakashi above where he should be, you could do the same for Obi-Wan. Scale them both to their, Padawan students. Scale them both to their fucking students. Luke's way stronger than Naruto. Legends Luke is, not canon Luke, okay? If we go with canon Obi-Wan, it's definitely closer. I would be willing to believe Island level Kakashi if there was sufficient evidence, like, can Kakashi match the Hirudora, which island level explosion, or island sized impact? And the perfect Susanoo is definitely above canon Obi-Wan. But I just don't know what death battle will and won't consider. I think Obi-Wan should win, but if they just left a few things out, then Kakashi definitely has a chance. Oh, and I guess there's also the Sharingan and all of the mind fuckery that it possesses, the the Tatsumaki Senpyu Yaku Sharingan. However, Force users can break out of illusions anyway, so I don't know if that would be too effective on Obi-Wan. Let's keep in mind, their explanation for Hiei beating Sasuke included Hiei's jargon gave him telekinesis and mental protections, putting the brakes on Sasuke's eye shenanigans. Instead of arguing that Hiei has faced stronger mental attacks than what Sasuke could produce, him just having mental protections is all they needed. I know that's a controversial episode. I'm not here to argue if it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that in the conclusion of the episode, they could have worded things better. The way they worded it is not Hiei has survived stronger or equivalent forces to what Sasuke could use. They argued it in ways that sounded like they were saying he was immune to these things in his universe, so it applies to whatever he's facing. I don't have to tell you that Human Torch, Thor, and Galactus could easily overpower Hiei with fire, lightning, and mental attacks. It wouldn't even be a contest. I'm not saying that's necessarily what they meant, but they worded their conclusion very poorly and gave that implication. So it's not impossible Death Battle might just say, but Obi-Wan's connection to the Force allowed him to see through illusions, putting a halt to whatever Kakashi could produce. Also, even if Kakashi wins, he won't win. If he strikes Obi-Wan down, he'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. So Obi-Wan would still win, from a certain point of view. I don't know, I don't think Kakashi has this one. I'm rooting for Obi-Wan, I think Obi-Wan will win, but I've been wrong before. Even though it took like only a few days for me to change my mind on Grey vs. Esdeath, and I was on Esdeath's side way before the battle came out, some might say I was wrong for that one. I count myself as having not being wrong yet for this season though, because that video is not the be all and end all. I consider the video not to be the point where I would be deemed right or wrong. I'd consider it my opinion before the battle started. I have not been wrong this season, such as with Cable vs. Booster Gold. This episode had no right being as entertaining as it was. Yes, the analysis was not anything special. I mean, Wiz and Boomstick still look like gobshite this season. I fucking hate how they say, oh, and Cable broke Surfer's board, as if to imply he was able to match the server, but then they're just like, oh no, he actually didn't match the Surfer. Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as Beast vs. Goliath with the fucking tree, but come on. The animation was actually pretty good. It was creative, they used the time travel way better than Strange Fate uses dimension hopping, and Booster Gold was legitimately funny, and given it's Booster Gold, that's impressive. I actually have nothing against the character, but you know, the animation was good, the comedy was gold, and the time travel was better than a certain other episode. 6 out of 10, probably wouldn't time travel to watch again.
Funny how time travel works.
Time, huh? Thanks for the tip.